Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another theme park obsession video. My name is Dylan and thank you so much for tuning back into the channel. As you can see behind me, I'm back at Universal Studios Hollywood to check up on the Halloween Horror Nights construction because there's a lot going on that front, and every week I'll give you guys an update on that progress leading up until the opening, which is September 9th. So without further ado, how about you and I dive right in. Oh yeah, first stop, of course, is the Curious George parking structure because they have the Horror Nights mazes over there. So let's see what's going on over there. Maybe there'll be some differences. Oh yeah, and you could tell already that I didn't do my hair today. That's because it's long, it's annoying. I'm probably gonna get a cut here soon. But oh yeah, we're just enjoying the long, lovely locks today. And look at this jumble of lumber and everything in between. Oh yeah, I love it. I love this process of Halloween Horror Nights. I love the build out. And then, you know, I've been fortunate enough to see some of the process behind the scenes, this particular process, before I've walked through some of the mazes a few years back when I was a show quality captain. And we had the opportunity to walk through during the construction progress. And that was really exciting because I love this kind of stuff. So to see these mazes being built out like this just gets me hyped. You know, I do have to say though, wow, how dirty this tent is. This poor tent has gone through the ringer, that's for sure. Maybe we'll get a little rainstorm or something, it'll make it all nice. That tent over there, see how much cleaner it is? And it's probably because this one is really close to this construction project back here, and of course all the carpenters have been working really hard cutting all of these different pieces so we have all the runoff. I'm sure this tent is jealous of that tent. Now there are a lot of rumors online saying that this particular attraction right here is going to be Pandora's Box. It's going to be making a comeback. Now if you see right here, this might be a clue. This particular sheet of plywood has that orange and blue fluorescent paint on it. And if you guys remember from 2019, Pandora's Box was a fluorescent maze. It wasn't in 3D, but it was painted with a lot of black light paint. So it really popped out and it was really cool. So that might be a hint, that might be a clue, and kind of solidifying the rumors online that this might in fact be the return of Pandora's Box. And here's a slightly different angle of the two attractions. Now this one is rumored to be Haunting of Hill House. Now, Haunting of Hill House has been confirmed by Universal Studios Hollywood and Universal Orlando, so that'll be fun to check out both coasts. I'll be going to Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando as well, so it'll be nice to compare them. But a lot of people are saying this one is going to be Hill House, and John Murdy did confirm that Hill House will not be in a soundstation, it'll be in a tent. So that kind of narrows it down a little bit. And you can see off in the distance on the front of this maze, the facade for that, it does look similar to Pandora's Box. So maybe the rumors are true and this is Pandora's Box's big comeback. Usually with a maze that scale, they kind of switch it up a little bit. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that they switch up the maze from the previous Pandora's Box if those rumors end up being true. I think it would be easier to switch it up just because it's not as huge of a set. You know, when they brought back Alien versus Predator, they really didn't change that much. And it's probably because the maze was very expensive. So with these ones, since they're on a smaller scale and the square footage is not as big, you know, maybe it's easier to change. So keep our fingers crossed that we'll get some changes in Pandora's Box. We've made it back out to the sunshine. Sunburn is going to happen today. I'm putting money on it, but I think my first stop is going to be to grab some food. So I'm a bit hungry. I think I'm gonna go get some poke bowl. That sounds good. But yeah, this joint right here is one of my favorites. It's honestly one of my favorite places to eat at City Walk. I always go here. Yeah, you know, City Walk doesn't look too bad right now. I know that's gonna obviously change here in the next few hours once the park starts to dump and everyone kind of hangs out in City Walk, grabs a bite to eat. Got a few different restaurant selections. And speaking of restaurants, the NBC Sports Grill and Brew has now opened. Now I would assume that this menu is identical to the one in Orlando because they do have a larger version of this establishment over there. But it's nice to see another option now available here at City Walk. Oh yeah, we've made it to Hollywood. I wonder how many celebrities we're gonna see. All right, let's beeline it. Let's go over to Waterworld because they have a Halloween Horror Nights maze being built. And as we got a closer view here, look, you can see the facade for this particular attraction. Now, this one is rumored to be a Halloween maze. I don't know which one it is. Online, there's a bunch of different people talking, but it's some form of Halloween. So that'd be cool if that ends up being true. I love the facade work they got going on here. I love how they distress all that brick. They throw a bunch of paint on it. It makes it look really old, and it's not. It looks like if you look really closely, they have some electrical wiring hanging out, so there might be some lighting that comes out of the facade, so that'll be really neat. It's gonna be nice to see this with the walls down, obviously. That big reveal once the event opens. Alrighty, we've made it over to the Universal Plaza, but let's head towards the left, because there's been some changes to the maze that's going into Parisian Courtyard, the one with the big giant book facade. So let's go head that way and take a look. And the park is actually not too bad up here right now. I would assume that most of the crowd is at Secret Life of Pets and at Jurassic World. Maybe even the studio tour too, because the studio tour is extremely unique to Universal Studios Hollywood. Yeah, let's head over here and see what's going on. Oh yeah, she's definitely got some changes the last time I saw that. That's cool. Okay, so for sure, we know this is a giant book of The Bride of Frankenstein Lives. Now, I don't know what's inside the book. Obviously, we'll find out when the event opens up. But how neat. That is actually a really cool facade. Now, I would assume that there are some similarities to this one and the one in Orlando, but I'm sure that each of them will be unique to their coast that they live in. But yeah, how neat this is. This is gonna be a really cool maze, I think. I love all these classic monster mazes that they do. And maybe in the future, we'll see more classic Universal monsters in this particular spot. And by the way, if you're wondering if the soundtrack is gonna be done by Slash again, it in fact is going to be produced and created by Slash. He's been doing all the classic Universal monster mazes so far, so it makes sense that he's going to be doing this one as well. It's going to be fun to see the differences between this one and the one in Orlando. Obviously, the one in Orlando was fantastic. It was so well done, so I expect nothing less over here in Hollywood. It's going to be really cool. I'm really looking forward to Bride of Frankenstein Lives. All right, let's take a stroll on French Street. Wow, the wind. Taking a stroll through French Street, I noticed there's like that little cutout where you can kind of see into the Halloween Horror Nights maze. You can see the details have been pretty much complete in that particular section that we can see. And looks very grungy, castle-like, so that's really neat. The audio and the lighting seems to be done in that area as well. So it seems like that maze is nearing the finish line. It's probably in its last stages, which still take a few weeks. And then pretty much like the last 2 or 3 weeks before the event opens is when they really go hardcore with all the build out, because they want to make sure everything's right and ready to go. And sometimes the mazes are still being finished like a day before the event opens. Let's take a peek down here to the lower lot over the lookout. Oh yeah, we can see Nintendo off in the distance. Rest of the back lot. Yeah, really not much going on in the Nintendo project. It's been kind of sitting like that for the past few weeks now. Wonder when they're gonna get to it. And I don't know if they're working on the inside, where I'm sure the Mario Kart attraction is gonna be. Guess we'll just keep an eye on it every single week. Maybe as we get closer to Halloween Horror Nights opening, they'll continue construction. All right, now that we've checked out everything up here, let's take a ride break. Let's go on Secret Life of Pets and then head down to the lower lots.
You can do it, puppies! Don't be scared!
Yeah, it's so exciting. Prepare to die, everyone!
No! Okay, good one, guys. Let me go!
Let's make our way downstairs. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There's your look at the Halloween Horror Nights maze that's behind Revenge of the Mummy. And you can see very closely that there has been some work that has been completed in the back half of the attraction. You see there's some 2x4s that have been installed for extra support in the back, and audio and lighting has also been installed. They even have a little section of it covered with some duvetine or fabric. Remember, not all of the maze is going to be allowed to be covered. Only certain sections of it can, just due to fire code. Obviously, the tent that is over the structure has a higher ceiling, so that's how they can get away with kind of covering some bits and pieces of it there. But yeah, exciting that things are finally starting to change on this attraction, because for a while there, this one was just kind of hanging out. But it's nice to see this one nearing completion. I would suspect this one is nearly done. I don't think they have that much work left to be done on it. I wouldn't think so. This one and the one in Waterworld have been sitting here the longest at the park. So yeah, these are probably not on the top priority list. It's attractions like Bride and the two mazes that are by the Curious George parking structure. And pretty soon, in just a few short weeks, we'll be walking down this pathway to that maze that's right behind Revenge of the Mummy. Now, a lot of the rumors online are saying that that maze is going to be Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The company has confirmed that Texas Chainsaw Massacre is coming to the event this year, so just not really sure if that's going to be the maze. I think as we narrow things down, it pretty much 90% is going to be Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Don't know if it's been confirmed. Go ahead and let me know down in the comments if it has, but Texas Chainsaw Massacre is for sure coming to Halloween Horror Nights 2021. All right, I've made the trek back up to the upper lot because I wanted to talk about some rumors circulating online about Tram. Now, obviously, the online banter can get pretty crazy, and I really don't trust anything online until the company makes an official statement. But Tram is one of those things that people are talking about. It's been a hot minute since we've seen Tram. It's very popular. People love it. And you know what? It'd be kind of neat to see it come back for HHN 2021. So go ahead and comment down below if you are excited for a possible Tram comeback. Now, one thing that people like to talk about also when they mention HHN are scare zones. Now, not really sure on the scare zones this year. That would be pretty epic to see a scare zone here in the wizarding world of Harry Potter, but I don't think we'll ever see that happen. But one man can dream, right? Maybe, you never know, maybe one day they'll do it. Now, I would assume that there would at least be 2 scare zones. I mean, I don't know. It's going to be hard to say. They might not have any scare zones at all. Now, there usually is a scare zone in this particular section of the park. And fun fact, I was actually a performer in this scare zone for 4 solid years. One of the years, I was like partial this area because I would perform here for just a tiny bit. But then over here was like my main spot, because in 2016, they had the Purge Gauntlet. I don't know if a few of you remember those. Remember that scare zone. That was where I was at in 2016. But a majority of the times from 2012 or 2013 till 2017, I was right up in here. So yeah, I would think that they would have at least one scare zone at the event, and it would be this opening statement, because it's the first thing you see when you walk into the park, and it is the last thing you see when you leave the park. Now, one thing I did want to mention before we kind of round out the day is that face coverings are going to be mandatory indoors here in LA County. So that is for Universal Studios Hollywood and Six Flags Magic Mountain. So if you're indoors waiting for an attraction or in a shop, you're going to have to wear a face covering. If you're outside, you don't have to wear it, but this is for vaccinated and unvaccinated people. This was just announced this the other day, so keep that in mind when you come to the park. Bring that extra mask in your backpack. But yeah, how cool. These updates are going to be fun to do in the next few weeks throughout August, leading up to the opening of Halloween Horror Nights 2021. We have the maze in Waterworld being worked on, the Parisian Courtyard, the maze down below next to Revenge of the Mummy, and we have the 2 mazes by the Parking Garage at Curious George, and I'm not really sure on the Soundstage maze that usually houses the Stranger Things attractions in previous years. Don't really know what's going in there this year. And if they do have a maze in that particular spot, how cool, because that would probably be 6 mazes, and if Walking Dead opens up, 7. So 7 possible attractions this year. I'm all for it. But you know, I think that's going to do it for today's Universal Studios video. It was a quick little update video, just like old school theme park obsession, so I hope you enjoyed it. Well, that's going to do it for today's video from Universal Studios Hollywood. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. If you're new to the channel and you love these videos and more, especially all the Halloween Horror Nights construction updates, which will be weekly up until the event starts, hit that subscribe button and notification bell so stay up to date on every time I post new videos. I have an Instagram account. I'll leave that link down below in the description, as well as a huge thank you to my Buy Me a Coffee supporters and members. There'll be special videos for members only You'll get those videos in the next couple days. Again, if you're not a member, you won't be able to see those bonus videos and behind the scenes content. I'll leave the link down below to join the Totally Obsessed and Obsessed membership. You'll also have access to the Discord, which is really cool. Finishing touches on that. But other than that though, hope you have a beautiful day, morning, evening, whatever it is. I'll see you next time in the parks. Bye.